Is this a safe space to say that I am actually genuinely tired of seeing videos of men on TikTok going, men do not approach women anymore. Men do not approach women anymore. I have seen at least 10 videos in the past 2 months, at least 10 videos in the past 2 months of a man going very boldly, bravely out there going, we do not approach women anymore. We do not ask women out anymore. That is just a thing that we have all collectively decided. As the male species, we have all collectively decided to not ask women out anymore.
I think even if you don't like what they're saying, right? And we all know it's not all men because people are still being approached. People are still, getting together. Still, babies still being made. Um, the the fact is a subset of men. It's a subset of men that have decided that they're not going to do that, and that's fine. You don't have to like their choice. You don't have to like it. You just have to understand that that's what their choice is, and you set that aside. You move it aside. If men, if a subset of men are saying, and they're giving you their reasons, you don't even have to like the reasons. You don't have to agree with the reasons. If they're saying it's because of the fallout from the Me Too movement, if they're telling you that they're listening to women that are saying men are being creeps, being told to leave them alone in gyms, the grocery stores, and gasoline, don't come up to them in public, don't come up to them in bars. Women out just want to have a good time. For all these reasons, they can give you those reasons. And those are legitimate reasons for those men. They could tell you other reasons because I don't like women. Either way, you listen, you set that aside. You say, cool, you're over there. Over here, we're trying to have a different outcome. That's fine. You have to let them be. You can't regulate, you can't tell them that they're wrong for that. You can't try to visit violence upon them. That's fine. We're never going to really convince someone of to do something just because we don't like the outcome. That's absolutely foolish. And if you're not going to have a conversation where you acknowledge the precipitating reasons why men are saying this, then you don't want to have you want to have a disingenuous conversation, and you really just want to be listened to. But yeah, guys, before we continue comment, subscribing, hit the notification bell. Really trying to grow this channel. You know, um, it just it takes a little bit of all of us, right? Let's keep it going.
Is it a safe place to say that it actually genuinely makes me angry? I want to crawl through my phone every time I see one of those videos and sucker punch these men. Because what do you mean? You all have collectively decided that it's no longer your job to pursue and see a girl, see that she's has a good personality, that she's nice, that she's pretty, that she's hot, whatever you saw in her, whatever you were attracted to in her, whether it be physical or emotional qualities, and go, I'm not going to say anything. I am not going to say anything.
It's fine. Some men can afford to play that to take that position. Just like there was someone in comments yesterday saying, "Yo, they're divorced, they understand they're masculine, and they're not looking for another relationship." You think I went and try to convince her that she's wrong, that she has to do something she's not in, no. You support that person's decision. Say, yeah, okay, what can I do to help? Right, we're here for you. Whatever part of the journey is on, she says I'm going to therapy, how to work some things out. It's perfect. You have to allow people to be who they are. If a man decides he doesn't want to pursue you, he doesn't want to pursue you. That's totally fine. This is the highest form of quality. I see you. I see things that I admire, see things I like, and I realize, you know what, my life is kind of full right now. I don't have the emotional capacity or bandwidth to engage in something else. But I see and acknowledge that. Wow, you're gorgeous. Wow, you've got a great spirit upon you. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to string you along, breadcrumb you, try to put you on the back burner somewhere just for me when I'm ready, when I'm good and ready to take you off the shelf, to call you in the game. No, I think it's a mature thing for men to be like, okay, I'm not emotionally ready. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the budget, or I simply don't want someone in my life right now. If you found that men are finding that their life has become peaceful when they've learned to compartmentalize things and say, okay, time for women is over here, and it's maybe fourth on my list of priorities. Okay, let me square all these other things first, and they find that that's fine. They find they like that. They find it's peaceful. So some men saying, while I may be desirous of a woman, right now it doesn't make sense for me to interrupt that peace. And I'm not saying that she's going to come and, destroy your peace, like an atomic bomb. But men are just saying, yeah, it's easier like this. And to the point, women are saying the same thing. Women are saying the exact same thing. Men are competing with the not them being alone, not competing with someone else, but men are competing with their own peace. So we're all saying the same thing. Right? We all saying the same thing. It's just better when we don't come out here and obviously try to blame and put the onus on one party or the other.
It has gotten, the dating market and dating in general in 2025 has become so bad that I literally cry myself to sleep every time I have a crush. Every single time I have a crush, I get a new crush on someone, I cry myself to sleep because I know that that man is never gonna come up to me and go, "I want you."
Why should he? Why should someone you have a crush on come up to you and tell you he wants you? Like man, we've had plenty of crushes. We probably had crushes on people in the comment section. People that are subscribed to the channel. Someone's had a crush on you, had a crush on someone. That does not mean that that person is now obligated to come up and talk to you. By no means, absolutely no means, do they have to come up and say anything to you. You have a crush on them, cool. I've had plenty of crushes. They've never known I even breathed or existed. That's normal part of behavior. Crying yourself to sleep, because your crush won't talk to you is, something I expect for you to do at 7 years old, not as an adult.
And the thing I've also noticed is that dating nowadays is people date either in their friend circle. So if you don't have an established friend circle, you are cooked. You are cooked. If you do not have an established friend circle, you are cooked when it comes to dating. Because random men don't come up to you anymore and go, "Hey, you're kind of cute. Can I have your number?" That does not happen anymore. The only time I've ever seen a guy do this, it's always the weird, creepy guys that you do not want around. I
See, there it is. There's proof positive that it actually happens. You just don't like who's happening. You don't like the men that are doing it. It just doesn't. It is not key that it is happening. The truth is, the men that you it's because it's the men that you want. It's the men that you want. They're not the ones complying to the behavior patterns that you wish them to. And when they don't, now all the men are bad. And maybe in a way it is. In a way, maybe that makes sense. And maybe I have an epiphany as I record this. Because you only see the men you want and they're of a certain station, of a certain caliber, and then they uniformly don't see you, people come here and say it's all of this person. The same thing like with men, right? Men see a certain type of women. Hey, you want the Instagram baddie, but none of them are replying to your DMs. None of them reply to you in life, real or virtual. So you say all women are like this. When we get pigeonholed into our own subset of what we can actually observe, then it seems like everyone is treating us poorly. Everyone is bad. But the truth is, you have real examples of people in your life that are paying you attention, the type of attention you want. You just don't find them appealing. That should not discount the fact that people are still trying to have better outcomes in their life.
saw this weird, creepy guy come up to my friend, ask her for her number. And there's another guy that I saw, weird and just off-putting guy that was asking girls for their number at my school. Okay, why is it always the weird and off-putting guys that have enough boldness and courage to come up to a girl and say, "Hey, you're cute. Can I get your number?" Why is it always the weird ones? Why is it always the weird, off-putting ones that if you saw them at the gas station, you would leave because they're kind of scary? Okay. I'm also at the point in my college career. I just moved back into college. As you can see all the boxes behind me, I just moved back in to start my second year of college. And I was literally thinking all the way up literally all the way up until the moment that I came to college. I was literally thinking there is not one man in my life that I literally can see myself dating. Not one man I can think of that I would date. Not one. Not one.
So there it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's you don't like the men that are around you. So then that pigeonholes you into thinking that all men are like this. If you're and the sad truth is it's not going to get any easier after college. You're surrounded by a captive audience of men who in some are paying to be there. Some on scholarship, someone taking out loans to be exactly where you are. If you can't suss it out now, if you don't have the friend group, and I get it, you're a sophomore in college, things are dicey. There's a lot of moving parts emotionally that make this sort of difficult to sort of navigate. But this is the first taste of adulthood, and it goes downhill in terms of the social crutches. It just becomes harder. You go to work now, and now that is your group. Most people find themselves, yes, in friends group. They find their significant others in friend groups, or at work, or on apps, because that's the way people now are able to actually socialize. Until that has changed, and it's probably going to be in her generation to change that, to move things along, to find another way, or go back to the old ways. But we all know the fact that after college, the captive audience, you're never surrounded by that many men again. That many men that are on the level, the educational level that you're seeking, you'll never be surrounded by that many again. You can't figure it out now. And when you have this sort of dismissive attitude, and this attitude where you don't really see it happen, or you don't want to understand why this happened, and you may have been too young to really be part of it. But if you don't understand contextually, historically, why these men of your generation are saying they're not coming up to you, you're going to be fighting this uphill battle that you have no shot at winning. Absolutely no shot at winning. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. Let's do a little bit more of this.
And I'm not saying that because I'm not saying that because I am surrounded by a bunch of men that are terrible. All my guy friends are amazing, amazing, genuine sweethearts. I love them all very deeply, but I'm like so jaded. I am so jaded from hearing people's horror stories. I am actually I feel so jaded. Like
Yeah, it's time to turn off social media. That's all it is. It's time to turn off social media. When you listen to people's stories, and when people want to talk about want to commiserate with what's going wrong with their lives, they're looking for that sympathy. They're looking like misery loves company. That's all it is. That's all it is. I want you to hear what happened to me, and I'm going to leave out all the bad things that I did to contribute to the downfall of said relationship. It's always going to be his fault. He's a narcissist. He was this, he was that, he was that. I'm never going to say anything that I did wrong, or if I do, I'll blow right past it. I'll minimize it as much as I can. Therefore, because I want your sympathy. Once I have that sympathy, we can move on. I can feel a little bit better myself. I don't change. I move on to the next relationship. When you're letting your friends and what you consume literally poison you. Literally. This is what it is. This is the social poison that you're opening up your apps and consuming. I always, whenever I talk to my best friend about, and he's super supportive about this. You guys probably see him in the comments. Whenever sometimes you talk, we always talk about palate cleanse. And sometimes you need to just relax. You need to laugh. You need to joke, and you need to take a step away from what social media is trying to do. How is it trying to program you? And that's probably the most healthy thing that she can do in this case. The more she consumes, the more bitter and jaded you're going to be. Imagine being jaded about something that you never experienced. You just downloaded the idea from the hive mind and said, yes, this is true. You've never had any type of experience like this. So what's going to happen the first time you have an experience with a man? Yeah, you'll be jaded.